Immigration and settlement is one of the three main themes of the Chung collection. The experiences and hardships of immigrants are well documented within the collection and the exhibition room, and focus on a number of events that led to a rise in Canadian immigration, beginning in the mid-19th century. Discoveries of gold on the west coast and in the province of British Columbia resulted in numerous gold rushes, including the Fraser River Gold Rush of 1858 and the Klondike Gold Rush near the turn of the century. Victoria, Vancouver, and other small towns near the 49th parallel were established as last stops to purchase supplies before traveling north. Towns became cities overnight as prospectors crossed the border by the thousands to chase tales of gold and discovery, preceded by merchants eager to meet the tremendous demand for supplies. Each gold rush brought additional settlers to the west coast, and populations continued to grow. The building of the Canadian Pacific Railway also had a profound impact on immigration in Canada. When construction initially began, only a fraction of the laborers required to build the railway were to be found in Canada. A number of campaigns brought in international workers to complete the ambitious project. Over 15,000 laborers from China, as well as thousands of navigational engineers from across Europe, came to work on the railroad. Railway construction was difficult and dangerous work, and took over 4 years of continuous labor. During this time, many workers established themselves and their families in Canada. Following the completion of the Canadian Pacific Railway, the Chinese Immigration Act, which introduced the infamous head tax, was implemented and made it difficult for the Chinese to continue to immigrate to Canada. Tensions continued to rise and led to violence against immigrant communities. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1923 barred entry to Canada for those of Chinese descent. Despite these measures and other challenges, immigrants across the country continued to defend their right to live and work in Canada, emboldened by the support of community leaders such as Yip Sang, a successful Vancouver businessman. In 1947, the Exclusion Act was repealed, and though still facing adversity, immigrants continued to influence change and establish their communities. With the Canadian Pacific Railway completed, efforts began to settle the prairie provinces in the late 1800s. The vast expanse of Western Canada was promoted heavily in Europe to potential immigrants who would be familiar with agriculture, rural lifestyles, and harsh climates. Campaigns from the Canadian government and companies such as CPR, who owned large swaths of land along the railway, advertised blue skies, bountiful harvests, and an idyllic life in the prairies. Increasingly challenging social and economic conditions in Europe led many to emigrate to Canada in search of opportunity and a better life. Learn more about immigration and settlement in Canada by visiting the Chung Collection at Rare Books and Special Collections at the University of British Columbia's Vancouver campus.